mine connected before you started?
You're live, guys.
Send me the link, Debo.
All right.
A little bit down, I like it.
That sounds good. We'll do yours and then we'll talk. And then we'll do mine. Just talk about it. Sorry.
What you subscribe?
How many right now?
3.
Oh, jeez.
And one.
These three. The you,
I'm not
him,
on
and
it.
him?
I'm not on it right now, so.
Alright, let's wait till we get to 5. You went late and Dave says the same thing. Yeah, tied. Wait, you.
This is soccer. That's soccer. That is soccer.
This is soccer? Oh, I scrolled down.
Anyone know how to put a link on Instagram? Like your story? You can attach a link.
I don't know. Something leads to the boys and assists.
I was reading an article and I thought it was football, but it was soccer.
Hey,
It's embarrassing.
do you know how to attach this on?
Welcome back to the DZB Sports Podcast. To my right is the D, to my left is the B, and I'm the Z, and we're 3 Ps on the pod.
Alright guys, to start out today we're going to talk about some hot cakes with our hot takes with our hot cakes. And we're going to go on to some pick'em. And then me and Brady will discuss our NFL bets this week with spread.
After that, we'll give you some fantasy football insight, and then we'll just take call-ins for anything we've discussed about the show or any further questions you have. While we're waiting for the call-ins, we'll discuss some important NBA information that's happened this week, and if we get to it, last night's Massillon Wadsworth football game.
Alright, so now let's get started with our hot takes. You want to start off, Brady?
Yeah, sure, I'll start it off. All right, so my hot take with hot cake number 1 is the Warriors will not make the NBA Finals this year.
Wow.
You see, this turmoil in the locker room between KD and Draymond, I don't like it. I really don't.
I don't either.
And Steph Curry's injury status, I mean, I know he's getting reevaluated in about 8 days now, but that injury just seems to be nagging him all year, so I'm kind of worried about that. So I see them falling off when they reach the playoffs. KD's ego is really dividing this ball club, the locker room, and I just don't think they get it done. I think the Rockets have a good chance. I think Oklahoma City has a good chance, and can't count out LeBron. You really can't do it.
Yeah, you can.
Team morale is definitely low, I'd say. I think they need to rebuild their chemistry, and with the star power they have, if they rebuild that chemistry, they'll be right back at it, in my opinion.
Sure, yeah, they
Just
come
tough.
out and said they want KD gone. Draymond's come out and said that they did it without him, that they don't need him.
And they also stated that they know they can't have Boogie this year. In my opinion, I know Boogie hasn't played, but Boogie being a me guy, he might have had some effect on those guys' egos. I mean, KD was never like this in the past. Now he just You know he doesn't want to be there anymore.
Yep.
But I
Turmoil is there.
I
falling
think
apart.
when Boogie makes his return, there's going to be more bad chemistry, in my opinion,
He's
because
a big guy.
it's going to be hard to share the ball with all those stars. So
That's
I think,
another guy who needs some points.
yeah, exactly. And what's his return after Christmas? They said.
Yeah, or sometime around Christmas.
So we'll look into that more when he comes
Of
back.
course.
My hot take is Ohio State makes a playoff, and for that to happen, Notre Dame has to lose to Syracuse. Ohio State has to win out. Georgia loses to Georgia Tech, which is tough, but I think a robbery game anybody can win. West Virginia beats Oklahoma in Week 12. Ohio State wins the Big Ten title game.
Also, you can have Georgia lose in the SEC championship to Bama. That would give them two
Yeah,
losses.
yeah,
You can't put a two-loss
yeah.
non-conference
I
champion.
think the toughest part is Ohio State winning out and being a tough Michigan team.
That is.
And then playing who? Like play Northwestern.
Probably Northwestern.
They're not a tough team, but they always play hard.
Yeah, and then also the Georgia losing to Georgia Tech. That is a huge.
Yeah.
That's something huge that needs to happen, but I think it's a rivalry game. You know, we talk about the
You're
rivalry
right,
game.
yeah,
Anybody
I
can
love
win.
it.
It's a matter of that option offense that Georgia Tech runs, honestly. If Georgia can stop that option offense, teams in the past have been known. It's tough to
It
stop
is
that.
tough. They're a high-scoring team.
That is
You
the
don't see
biggest
that very
question
often.
mark, in my opinion. And West Virginia beating Oklahoma could be tough, but I think West Virginia can pull it off.
Anyone can win that game.
Yeah, I agree.
My hot take: the Cowboys will make the playoffs. Hear me out on this one, folks. They are 3-1 at home this year, and they have 3 home games left.
What are they on the road?
They are 1 and yes, they are. They beat Philly on the road
When?
last week.
Okay.
And listen to that road game stuff. At Atlanta, a team with losing record. At Indy,
They're 1 and what on the road? I forgot. I don't know if you
They're
finished.
1 and 2.
1 and 2.
And
Gotta win the road games.
and then they're at Indianapolis, which is also a team with a losing record. And then they're at New York Giants, another team with a losing record. And the last 2 games, Zeke has had 212 rushing yards, 87 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns against
They're
2.
1 and 4 on the road.
Oh, they're 3-1 at home.
And on the road, they're 1 and 4.
They are.
Gotta win those road
Drake
games.
proving wrong once again. You'll see it here. You'll see it a lot.
All right, it's on me. But 87 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns against 2 of the top 10 ranked rushing defenses in the league. So Zeke's out here balling. He's doing his thing. And also, Dak has been averaging 265 passing yards through 3 games with 6 total touchdowns. I mean, the guy is just an animal right now. He's doing his thing. They're out there playing hard, and they're gonna win some of those. I mean, only game I have a star by is home against New Orleans. That's gonna be back-to-back Thursday games. If they're gonna lose one, that's gonna be the one.
Back-to-back Thursday games?
Yeah, they play Thursday Thanksgiving against Washington, and they
I
go
hate to see
and they go
that.
Thursday night against
A
New Orleans.
question I have is, how do you not have a big star next to that Redskins game on Thanksgiving? I mean, the
I mean,
Redskins are 2 games up in the division right now at 6 and 3.
That's a
That's
big
a
game.
must-win for
It is.
Dallas.
No doubt it's
That is a
no
must-win.
must-win game, but they also have 3 offensive linemen out for the year and one of their stud receivers out for the year.
How the Cowboys on the line looking? They had some injuries.
They Travis Friedrich's hurt, he is, but he is actually expected back week 13. So that's that New Orleans game. That
Who's
is,
back for that, man? I'm a big Zeke Elliott guy. He's a Buckeye. I
Yep.
just think big question mark is a healthy offensive line.
that been a question mark, but what Zeke was done against the top 10 ranked defenses in the
I'm
league.
a big Zeke guy.
So I mean, he's doing his thing. I just really feel that they have the firepower to get into the playoffs. Amari Cooper's arrival, big difference. I mean, he's making Texas a really good
Like
quarterback.
make the playoffs or wild card?
Well, they can win that division. I do believe.
so?
I do
You
believe
believe
they
they'll
win
win
that
the division?
I
I
do.
don't know.
2 games
They got
up,
tough
2
fight.
games back this late in the year. It's
I
tough.
think the tough road
I
ahead of
think
them,
they
too.
go 10-6 and win the division.
Think they win out and lose?
No.
Who do they lose
They're
to?
losing to New Orleans.
Losing to New Orleans, but they win out.
That's a tough one.
That'll get them in.
I will get them in. So we're going to find out, but that's just my personal opinion.
All right, my hot take number 2 for this week. We got some quarterbacks banged up in Baltimore. Lamar Miller and Joe Flacco not practicing Wednesday or Thursday. So you know who that leaves left on the depth chart. Robert Griffin.
G3.
RG3 goes to Cincinnati this week and wins. If he starts. If Robert Griffin starts this week, he will beat the Bengals.
Talk about a hot
Struggling
take.
defense. Bengals were lit up for 50 last week, 34 in week 8, and 45 in week 7. They won the game, they gave up 34 points, but that offense had to work hard.
I'm sorry, but when was the last time Robert Griffin III played a football game?
Last
Besides
year for the Browns.
preseason?
Was it in a Browns jersey? Was it in
He
a
was in a
Browns
Browns jersey last year.
I'm a
Started
Browns
the
fan. I
first
hate that guy.
2 games of the season, I believe.
First, I just don't like it.
I mean, Browns couldn't win a game last year, but I mean,
You said they're on the road at Cincinnati.
they're on the road at Cincinnati, I believe. Drake Kirkpatrick coming off a concussion. That's a big loss in the secondary, and they've given up all these points in the past weeks. The defense is low, very low.
Baltimore's got a great defense too.
Yeah,
And
they always have
Baltimore could keep them in this game. I don't think Cincinnati's offense with AJ Green out with that toe injury.
Yeah.
Last week their offense didn't look great against a New Orleans team that just, I mean, they have a great rush defense, but you never know how those corners are going to play. And their receivers just couldn't get open, really.
Having Robert Griffin III as a Browns quarterback, always having to go and say, "Oh, it's his week." I lost faith in the guy. He proved me wrong time and time again. I can't agree with that hot take. I want him to do well. I like the guy. It's just
With this defense
just can't
playing
get it
the way
done.
it is, and I know all those points are given up to New Orleans, Tampa, and Kansas City. Those are some great offensive teams. They put up some points every week, but this defense is just struggling, and I think RG3 takes advantage. I mean, he can hit him with the legs. He could throw it a little bit. I mean, the dude could always sling the football.
If he can get back to how he was playing when he first came in the league before the injury, I could see it. I want him to get back to
people,
that.
people forget he was rookie of the year. He was his
Yeah.
first rookie year. I mean, the guy's got some.
Yeah, he's got talent. It's
I mean,
just-
the run game is not going to be
No, I
with Buck Allen and
I agree.
Alex
If
Collins, Ty
No.
Montgomery. He's going to have to throw.
If it's
Yeah.
against any other defense, I disagree with that take. But because it's against the Bengals defense, and they're struggling offense because AJ Green's out, I will have to agree with that hot take by bro.
I want to see him succeed. I don't think he will. I can't trust the guy. I'm sorry. I love to see it. Love the guy. I love to see it. I don't know. My next hot take is Duke goes unbeaten in the regular season. Let me tell you why. I think the North Carolina games are their toughest test, but they're just a star power with Zion, RJ, and Cam Reddish. I think it will overpower any team.
How many points did Cam Reddish have last game?
He did not play well last game. He had 3 points, I believe.
Yep.
He did not play well, but you're a big Cam Reddish guy. You say he might be better than Zion. You keep saying.
Or just be? Yeah, I do.
I believe the word you said. He's like Kevin Durant.
I said he has the potential to be like Kevin Durant.
They beat number 2 Kentucky by 34. I just think that
Everyone
they
wants to
can
go
go
back
and
to
beat.
that game. That game's passed. I mean, Kentucky's ranked what, 12 now, 10 or 12, somewhere.
They were
around
up
there.
43-9 against Eastern Michigan at one point. I know it's Eastern
Eastern
Michigan,
Michigan. If
but
you're gonna argue
43-9.
that, UNC has won their last 2 games by 100 points combined.
But did they get up 43-9?
Couldn't
Did
tell
they?
you that.
Did they?
Couldn't
I
tell
don't
you
believe
that.
they did.
43 to 9.
They ended up winning this game 84-46.
UNC won their last game 108 to 58.
Okay, but still, I'm just saying, if you want to go by how many points have they beaten other teams by, I'd say Duke has.
Okay, I'll give you that. North Carolina will be their toughest task 2 times. That's going to be tough.
They play the toughest. I mean,
I
they
think
got
it's tough.
5th ranked Virginia. They got to play against twice. They got
Cam Reddish only played 3 minutes last game. 12 minutes last game, and he had 3 points. He did not play well, but I mean,
But I just think
a lot of
that's the
bench
thing,
guys
though.
got a lot of work.
that's the thing. Cam Reddish struggles. They got 2 more stars that can back him up. I just think.
I will not judge them until they play a tough road game.
Okay.
I don't think Kentucky was.
What about a
gonna-
neutral game?
I don't consider that because when you're compare that, if they were in Rupp Arena, they lose that game.
I don't think that's true.
I firmly believe that.
Did you watch the game?
I did watch the game.
Did you?
I did.
I just don't think that's a 34-point swing playing somewhere else.
It's just, I mean, they put the scrubs in at the end. It wasn't a true. It was somewhere around 25. I do think it's 25 points win. I think it's that much
I don't
difference at Rupp Arena.
I don't think a location got that big of a change on a
It
game.
was only there's no way to tell. Besides
There is no
what
way to tell, but I think they go and beat during the regular season.
I can't fathom that.
I
That's just idiotic.
How is that idiotic?
You-
I just don't see North Carolina. I don't think North Carolina's good enough to beat them.
Last year, everyone thought the same thing when it was that. First off, UNC beat them in the first game, up 15.5 the second. They did lose the game.
Yeah.
But
They lost the game.
I'm just telling you, there's no chance that they go undefeated in the regular season.
I
There's
think
no
there's a
chance.
chance just because of these
Yeah, I'll
guys
do
right
this.
here.
If they go undefeated in the regular season, I will wear a Duke Blue Devils jersey. I will wear one.
You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen.
Heard it here. All right, do your hot take.
My next hot take is a hot one. It sure is a hot one. I have Tua Tagovailoa will not win the Heisman Trophy. And the one who will be Kyler Murray, 2-sport athlete, drafted in the first round of the MLB draft. He is just a stud this year for the Oklahoma Sooners.
I don't think any 2-sport athlete. I don't think that brings it into the conversation.
No, I was just hyping him up. Just hyping him up.
For sure, yeah,
But he's just one of the most touchdowns in the league this year. Some some of just an offensive weapon.
He's definitely electrifying.
Yeah, I mean, right now in the experts poll, he's a very close second. Tua's got 8 first place votes and 2 second place votes, where Kyler Murray's got 2 first place votes and 8 second place votes. So that puts him at a total of Tua with 48, Kyler Murray with 42. I believe Kyler could turn that around quickly. I mean, he's got big games coming.
Yeah, it gets
Coming
tough.
tough competition.
Bama's got the Citadel this week.
Yeah, but you act like they won't finish strong in their SEC
And
championship
you know,
game. They got a bunch
Tua
of
does
big
have that
games.
injury though. Tua's
For
got
sure.
that knee injury.
If he can come back from that, I think honestly, even if he doesn't play another game the rest of the year, that he's already locked up this
Tua, really?
I think
Heisman Trophy.
I think if Oklahoma beats West Virginia, I think he has a really good shot. But I think if West Virginia beats Oklahoma,
I'll say this: if Oklahoma's in the playoff, Tua wins. Or not Tua. Kyler wins it.
I'd say that.
Because most of the time you get Heisman as the best player on the best team, like just like MVP. So I think obviously Bama's gonna be the best team, but
Yeah, so Tua's the best player on the best team.
but if
So why wouldn't he get?
Kyler Murray's having a better season than Tua, because keep in mind Tua hasn't played a lot. Like he hasn't played a lot at the end of the game.
That
so,
just shows how
so
good he
Kyler
has
Murray's
been.
stats are gonna be better.
His
So if you have
stats
a
might be
better
better,
stats
but
on
you
a
have.
team that's still in the playoff, still a top 5 team. I just think it's tough not to give it to Kyler Murray.
I don't think Kyler Murray's stats are all that better than Tua's. To be honest with you, I just think what Tua has accomplished in with 28 touchdowns and 2 interceptions this year, not playing a lot in the fourth quarter. I get that, but I just think he's fantastic to get him to the
Heck of a
point.
player, no doubt
Get him
about
to
it.
the point where he doesn't have to play. And I mean, Kyler Murray's got 32 total touchdowns and 5 picks. So I mean, he's got more touchdowns. He's got 4 more touchdowns and 3 more picks. So I mean, that's kind of a wash there. So I think they're even. I mean, Kyler Murray's definitely a bigger threat on the ground.
No doubt about it.
For sure, can run the football.
It'll be interesting to see.
It'll be close.
It'll be close.
I
Very
think
close.
if Ohio State wins the Big Ten
Haskins
title
doesn't get
game,
it. Haskins
I
doesn't
think
get it.
I'm not saying he's getting it, but I think he'll be in that top 3 and have a chance. I wouldn't count him out.
All right, going on to my third take.
Let's hear it, bro.
I still am sticking with that Notre Dame will not make the college football playoff.
Wow. You just hate Notre Dame, don't you?
I don't hate him. Big Notre Dame
losing
guy.
to Syracuse.
I just can't take any biases into this. You know, it's just
Like I do.
telling you what I think. I don't take any biases into my sports talk. If I like a team who's bad, I'm gonna tell you they're gonna do bad. But Notre Dame, I just don't see them making it into the college football playoff.
I think Syracuse beats him.
Notre Dame, they're
I
coming
agree
in
with that.
exactly going in on the road to Syracuse. A tough opponent. Syracuse ranked what, 12?
Yeah. Is Book playing this week?
Syracuse is 12. Book is back from his rib injury, so I mean that is definitely
Rib
a
is
plus.
tough. Rib is tough. to get him
For
back,
sure.
bro.
They
Going
gotta
motion.
protect him. They really gotta protect him because if he gets hit, who knows? But
Every movement's gonna hurt with him.
And he's gonna be hit. He's gonna be hit. It's just
with how Wimbush played last week, I mean, even if Book gets hurt, you never know. He could step in and get 4 more touchdowns like he did last week. But
he proved you wrong.
Syracuse put Clemson on the ropes earlier this season,
Sure,
so I think they have the ability to win the big games like this.
yeah, Syracuse is 3rd in college football in turnovers forced, top 10 in points per game, and staying with a tough Clemson team, only losing by 4 in Clemson, which is just fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, 25 total turnovers they've forced, and they put up 44 a game. I don't think Notre Dame can score with that efficiency, and Syracuse can score with anyone in the country. And if you give them a turnover or 2, you're not going to stop them on
I agree.
defense.
I agree.
They're going to get in that end zone. So I think
agree.
Cuse wins a close one
I
here,
agree.
31-27.
I agree with that. I
31-27
love that take.
in Yankee Stadium. Great atmosphere this week.
Great
Can't wait to
Awesome.
watch that game.
Awesome. Great
Yankee
atmosphere.
Stadium, going to be some snow. That place is going to be packed. Big game
It's
for
gonna be a
Syracuse.
great game. Oh, can't wait to watch that one.
So my third hot take is the 76ers Warriors final. 76ers take them to 6 games. I think the addition of Jimmy Butler puts them past. I think they match up well with Boston, but I think the addition with Jimmy Butler puts them past Boston, in my opinion. I know Brody is kind of upset about that. Big Boston
I'm
guy.
a big Boston guy, that's
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. I like the 76ers pick. I really do. I just think Embiid is so much more of a factor towards the Celtics because who's going to guard him? Aaron Baines or Al Horford?
Horford's old, but
I just think
Okay,
I
but
like Al
you
Horford.
see what Horford has done his whole
Horford
career.
can
That
be-
man
yeah.
just
he's good, but
he's a great player. All he
I
does
mean,
is
Embiid's
score.
body's not Andre Drummond. I mean, Embiid.
for sure. Embiid's definitely bigger, more athletic, more skilled, but I just think the experience of Al Horford will just get it done.
I can see the
he
experience,
always
but
gets it done.
Also, the matchup problem with Ben Simmons. I'm not a big Ben Simmons guy. I'll be the first to admit it. I'm not a big fan of him, but who are you going to put on him?
You're gonna put Jason Tatum on
But
him.
he's still undersized. I mean,
I
Simmons is a
just-
6'10" point guard.
That's a matchup I'd like to see right there.
Jaylen Brown is, where is he on this list? Let's find him. Jason Tatum is 6'8", so I mean he's definitely got 2 inches on him.
And
But still, I mean that's big enough.
I get that
That's
Simmons can't
definitely
shoot,
big
I
enough.
think Simmons' complete game is better than Jason.
I think Tatum's definitely a better scorer.
scorer,
No
yeah,
doubt.
but,
Tatum's a
like,
better scorer.
passing. I just think
Simmons
Simmons is better than
He
him
can't
in
shoot, but
other
he's
aspects.
just.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely love Boston this year. They've been playing well. Last night,
Kyrie
big
dropped
win.
like 44.
43 last night.
Yeah.
That's just incredible. Kyrie's playing fantastic, just like he always is. Jaylen Brown.
He's having
You
a-
got
he's having
Jason
a tough
Tatum.
year, but
You
good
got
defense, good defender.
Marcus Smart and Terry Rozier coming off the bench. Those are some 2 great guards. Marcus Smart plays some fantastic defense. I know he struggles shooting the ball, but his defense is just
You have
fantastic.
seen Scary Terry in some trade talk stuff. It will be interesting to see if he leaves Boston. What
They,
goes on there.
you saw what he did last year in the playoffs. Scary
But
Terry is definitely a great player.
He's a threat. He's a
You know,
big
Definitely
threat.
a threat.
another advantage I think the 76ers have that might not be that big of a deal is the leadership behind JJ Redick. The dude's a veteran. Been a solid player for years. I think that leadership gets him past Boston as well. But they have Horford
They have
too.
Horford.
I
I
think
see
that-
Horford as a better leader.
I'm gonna tell you
Horford's
what,
been
no matter
there
what, this
plenty
series
of
going to
times.
7, it's going to be a great series. Barring injury, anything along
I
those
think,
lines.
yeah,
But
that
give them these
Eastern
options right
Conference-
now.
We agree this is
7
Eastern
games.
Conference Finals right here.
Yeah, Eastern Conference Finals.
Because you
for
can't
Boston
trust
76ers.
Kawhi because the Raptors, sure, they have a good record, but
Yeah,
Kawhi's
they're
playing every
12-2.
other game.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be there.
No.
So when you take, I think
Yeah.
those are the 2 teams.
Yeah, for sure.
You can argue Giannis and the Bucks, but they don't have enough firepower.
Yeah, they don't have enough athletes to have
I
around.
mean, Bledsoe, Giannis.
They
don't
won
have-
last
don't
night
have that
against the
third guy.
Bulls, but I mean the Bulls
I
are
like
struggling
Malcolm
this year.
Brogdon.
But he's nothing like a
Yeah.
Butler or anything along those lines. So now on to my third hot take. I have Russell Westbrook averaging a triple-double and winning the MVP this year. Right now, Russ has missed the last few games with an ankle injury, yes. But he's just gearing up for the end of the big run of the season. I mean, he's already averaging 24, 8, and 9.
He's
He's
proven
well on
that
his
he
way.
can do it.
Last year, I think he deserved it over Harden. I think, when you average a
Yeah.
triple-double, just because he did it the year before, people just blew it off, but the dude's insane. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a straight-up baller. And
Talk about electrifying.
electrifying. I think that he's the best player in the NBA this year, and I think he's gonna have a triple double again. I really do.
I mean the biggest thing for him is he's just got to get back on
Get
the court.
healthy.
Yeah.
Yep.
The committee, the MVP committee, they don't let guys miss a lot of games.
I mean, Harden did miss what 10, 15, somewhere
For
along
sure,
those
but I
lines.
mean he didn't get hurt very often.
No, you're right.
Harden just sits out because they were so good last year. that
Yeah.
He didn't need to play.
Yeah, I think. he
And
had
I
a
get
shoulder
that
injury
people
for
don't
a-
like that. People don't like how players sit out. But I mean, when your team's locked up a playoff spot, you really got to save your bullets for the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't risk an injury in this at that point in the season. But Harden, I mean, Westbrook's going to have to play every game because the Thunder are always in that lower half fighting
Yep.
for a spot at the end. So I believe he plays every game. Definitely possible. Definitely think he can do it. He is a stat sheet killer.
And it might sound a little offset, but I think getting rid of Melo has helped that team so much. I think Melo is just a cancer for that
Yeah.
team.
Melo
They've been a
is-
lot more productive. I mean, Paul George getting more touches than he did last year.
Yeah.
That's why he came back. Russ was going to do his thing when he gets back as well. Steven Adams, I'm a big Steven Adams
Big
guy.
Steven Adams.
I
Yeah, they
love-
got
I
a
love
great
love
Steven
Steven
Adams. I mean, that guy's just
He's
he's
good,
an
good
absolute
roster.
unit.
Yeah, we saw Carmelo did to Houston. I mean,
Yeah,
he only played 10
You're
games.
going to talk about Carmelo
We'll
and
talk
the
about
NBA
that
section.
later,
I got things to go talk
Definitely
about.
got
Carmelo.
We do.
So
Those are the hot takes. We're now going to go on to our 4 marquee college football games today.
And we got to be honest, the games this week aren't the greatest.
They are a little rough. It's the week 4 rivalry week. Just teams are getting geared up
Yeah.
for that. So,
yeah, first one, Texas versus Iowa State. Big time matchup here. I believe it's the 15-16 in the 18
yeah,
poll.
Iowa
or college
State's
football
scary
playoff.
this year.
Iowa State's playing fantastic, but you know me, I love Texas by
You're a
20
big
in this
Texas
one.
guy, but yeah, I have to go with Texas too. I love Tom Herman. I think he's doing a fantastic job of bringing that program
Yeah,
back
for
from
sure.
its
He's
dominance a few
bringing
years
them back.
ago. Yeah.
I agree. I got Texas as well. That quarterback, Ellinger.
Ellinger,
Yep,
Sam
he's a
Ellinger.
stud. And
Yeah, he can make
Yeah.
plays.
Fantastic.
Cameron Dicker. Gotta love the kicker.
Gotta love him.
Gotta
Love Cameron Dicker. So yeah, I got Texas in this one as well.
But yeah, for sure. Their wide receivers, Lil Jordan Humphrey. I mean, I don't think he'll be able to be guarded. I mean, they don't have much of a running game this year, for sure.
When you got that quarterback, it's
Keontae Ingram, 104 carries, 568 yards, only 3 touchdowns. But they can throw the ball and score with everyone. I mean, it's the Big 12. Everyone
No
knows that they can put up points, and that's just all they do. So
I agree.
Ellinger, I mean, he's got a QB rating of 149.1 this year. So really, what else can you ask? 20 touchdowns, 2 interceptions,
Honestly, kind of has him top.
over 2,400 yards. The touchdowns are a little down. That's why he's not in. Texas has also lost 3 games. So I mean,
Next one is this week's College Game Day Game of the Week. What a great game.
Yeah.
We have Cincy at UCF, and UCF fans have just been
Yeah.
arguing about how good their team is, why they're not in the playoff. And, I mean, they have
They're hot right now.
I mean,
They're hot.
they won, what, 23, 24 games?
this
you know?
this will be for 24.
This will be for 24. I mean, it's tough not to argue. I know they don't play a great schedule, but, I mean, Cincy's ranked.
Since he's a tough team.
And I do have UCF in this one. I mean, Cincy's a good ball club. They come back this year. I just think UCF just has Mackenzie Milton, great player. I just think that firepower is too much. I have UCF in this game by
And
about a
with
touchdown.
The game day guys being down in Florida, I think that also gives a huge factor
Yeah,
for
the home
UCF.
game.
Yeah, home game factor.
Yeah, I love UCF in this one. I mean, they don't have they're not in a great conference. I mean, they're in the AAC. AAC is not a big football conference at all. But I mean, that's out of their control really at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, they want to move conferences. I mean, that's a long process. You got to apply for that. You got to get accepted for that. But I mean, I believe you throw them in the playoffs. I mean, the team has not lost in a year and a half now.
Yeah.
I mean, throw them in.
Yeah.
I know their record might not be the greatest, but I mean they're undefeated.
And then last
They're-
year
they're
they had the
conference.
team. They played Auburn in the bowl game, and Auburn was a team before they lost in the SEC championship who they thought could be in the playoff.
Yeah.
And they went out there. They beat them like what, by the 10, 14 points.
I mean, they gave Auburn.
and they beat a good SEC team.
They showed that they can play with anyone in the
I
country.
agree. I do
And
agree.
I believe that they should be given a shot. I mean, they'll definitely get a New Year's Six for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I just think they deserve a little bit more. I think people don't give them the slack they deserve.
Even though they play in that weak conference, 24 straight is still very tough to
They
do.
do. Yeah, it
I know,
is.
I mean,
That's
it's-
incredible.
You got, yeah.
I mean,
Credit where credit is due.
another thing why I think an eight team playoff is a good idea. You got to put them in with an 18, and it just makes it so much more interesting. But that's a whole other debate.
But yeah, I'm looking at their schedule right now. There's not a big win. I mean,
And that close Temple game too.
yeah, Temple. I mean, ECU,
Memphis.
Memphis, Southern SMU.
But that's
Pitt.
kind of out of their control. I mean, they played an ACC team out of conference.
They could schedule a little bit better out of conference. I mean, Pitt is a good
They're good. They're in a Power
out
5
of conference, but I mean, UConn, that's a tough one. South Carolina State. I mean,
You gotta schedule a
little
lower
better.
SEC team, someone like a South Carolina, maybe even a Tennessee, if you want to have a chance to be in that
you
discussion.
schedule a little bit better. I think
Oh,
UCF
Vandy,
definitely gets
yeah.
what they deserve.
Next is a game we've talked about a little bit earlier in the show. Syracuse versus Notre Dame. I think we all have Syracuse.
Yeah.
I do. I definitely have Syracuse. Like I said, I mean, that defense is third in turnovers forced. I think if they can get a few turnovers forced by Ian Book, I mean, you're not going to stop Dexter.
Yeah.
No,
You're not going to
not
stop
gonna
Dexter
stop them.
Williams. That man is just a
He had
fantastic runner.
212
for
last
Notre
week,
Dame.
right?
He had 20 rushes for 202 yards and I believe 2 touchdowns. So
That's incredible.
you're not going to stop Dexter Williams. He's a fantastic running back for Notre Dame. They lean on him a lot. And but if they can get Ian Book to turn it over once in a while, who knows how Notre Dame's gonna play playing in a baseball stadium.
Yeah, always.
Who knows how they adapt to that? But I mean, Syracuse, they don't play in Yankee Stadium every game, but they've played there definitely before,
Oh,
so
yeah.
they're a little bit used to it. So I think they can get it done. I really do.
I 100% agree.
In front of
All
the
those points
home
are great
crowd.
points.
With them having clumps on the ropes earlier this year, they've proven that they can win the big games.
Yep.
I think they can get it done for sure.
Home crowd,
Home
and
crowd, yeah.
With both of you guys. They say it's neutral location, but it's not. I
It's
mean,
not.
yeah,
No.
I mean,
Indianapolis.
Syracuse is in New York
Yeah.
City, and I mean they're playing in Yankee Stadium.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all got that Syracuse game. Next is West Virginia versus Oklahoma State. And Oklahoma State gave Oklahoma a scare last
Yeah.
week.
Only lost
And
by
West
one.
Virginia's a team battling for a playoff spot. They gotta win out if they want to get in. Big game for West Virginia this week. I think Will Greer just lights up that Big 12
Yep.
defense because Big 12 does good defense.
Yeah.
And I think they get like a 14 point win this week.
I agree.
Yeah, Will Greer. I mean,
It's another Heisman.
Heisman guy gets a little slept on.
Yeah.
He is.
People don't really think about him. I mean,
He did juice,
I believe he's number 3
Juiced.
in the rankings as of now. But he's a great player. He's got 2,900 yards this year and
That's
31
unreal.
touchdowns.
That's
His QBR is a little down, but I
unreal.
think he's a fantastic player. 31 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
Yeah.
basically 3,000 yards, 29-61.
Yeah, he's
I think they win the big games. They definitely have big wins over Texas. That 2-point conversion at the end of the game.
that was a ballsy call.
Fantastic play. Wins against Texas Tech, TCU, Texas. Tough teams. I think they get it done against Oklahoma State this week as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they have a chance to get in, but that's another game. It's gonna be an interesting game.
Yeah, sure.
So
Definitely a
now,
win out.
yeah, I agree. So now me and Brody are going to discuss our NFL bets this week. We tend to go and look at the spread,
Definitely.
some friendly bets. You know,
For sure.
we love to do that.
The
So we're going to pull up our Yahoo app. Go look at the spreads. All right. So first game this week we have Carolina at Detroit, and Carolina is a 4.5 point favorite. Carolina got absolutely dismantled last week. By the
Yeah,
Pittsburgh
Carolina
Steelers.
definitely giving up 52 last week to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I mean, Pittsburgh's got a fantastic offense, but
Not that 52 points.
yeah, really, Carolina had been playing well, so I was pretty surprised by that final score.
I was too. I think I had that game last week, and that
Yeah.
was a rough one.
But yeah,
you're a
4.5.
big Detroit guy though.
I picked Detroit in many games this
Yeah.
year, many bets. I really liked them at the beginning of the season. Let me down a few weeks ago against Minnesota. They had a few
Yeah,
costly
they
fumbles,
did. That
turnovers
was
at
big.
the end of the game. So I can't go with them this week though.
Oh, yeah, I
I like
agree.
Carolina 4.5. It's a kind of a big line, but I think Carolina wins by
we
wins by
were
10.
those big lines, but I agree. I got Carolina there as well. Next we got my Cowboys at Atlanta. Always a tough environment, and Atlanta has to give Dallas 3. So
Yeah, that's
give me
what
Dallas
makes it
every day of the
scary.
week
That's
there.
what makes it scary right there is because
Cowboys-
Atlanta's favored, and I really don't think Atlanta deserves to be favored.
I understand why, because the Cowboys have struggled on the road. Like I just said before, 1-4 on the road. But
Atlanta is 4-5 this year, same record as the Cowboys.
Yep.
Am I right? So,
same record. I still have Dallas.
but to give them 3 is a little much for me. I'm gonna have to go with the Cowboys, but I like Atlanta to win.
just by 1 or 2 then. So you think it's
But
really close.
I think it's a close game.
I just think the Cowboys get it by a touchdown. So either way, we still don't agree on that spread. Next we have Tennessee at Indianapolis, and Indy's favored by a point. And that's
This is a tough one because Tennessee's dismantling of the Patriots last week,
And then
and
they
they
beat the
don't get any
Cowboys.
credit in the line.
no, that's
It-
weird.
I
I
mean-
get it's at Indianapolis, but still,
Yeah,
Andrew Luck's found his groove, but Tennessee's got a good defense.
Yep,
They really
they do. They really do. I mean, Luck throws the ball 50 times a game.
Yeah, he gets 300
He definitely
yards.
slings it around, but
Throws a lot of picks though.
he does. But I mean,
I like
the
Tennessee.
Colts are turning around. They really
They
are.
are.
Big
They
win
won-
against
they won 3 in a row.
Jacksonville.
Yeah, they won 3 in a row.
They've won 3 in a row with big wins against the Bills, the Raiders, and Jacksonville.
Not the
Three
greatest opponents.
teams that are all struggling this year, but those are
This
definitely
will
some
be a
quality wins.
game to tell if they're for real or not.
For sure, yeah, but I definitely as well like Tennessee.
I like Tennessee this one. The New York Giants at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Giants are having to give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers a point.
Yeah, so that's tough again.
I know
Tampa
that
Bay,
they played well last week, but it was the Niners.
Yeah, Tampa Bay has a great offense. The defense is not. Tampa Bay obviously doesn't play much defense.
No.
They definitely can stop the run a little bit though.
They-
I believe they're top half of the league in rush
They
defense.
got Joe McCoy.
But I'm actually gonna take the Giants in this one.
Really?
-1. I'm gonna go with Saquon. Goes off a little bit. I really like Odell in this game, like we'll talk about later. Eli with a big comeback win last week. Everyone's on his side. You saw Sterling Shepard after the game.
Yeah, I saw this time mic'd up.
Mic'd up. He's like, Eli, you're my guy, and it shows that they've never given up on Eli.
Yeah.
A lot of people in New York have given up, saying Eli's too old, he can't get it done anymore.
Which
But
I agree with.
I really like to see Eli making that comeback win last week, and he's continuing the momentum. I like New York against Tampa Bay in this one.
I like Fitzmagic. I mean, the guy's balling. He really is.
He throws too many picks.
He's throwing too many picks, but he's throwing for a lot of yards. That's going to get him down near the end zone, and they're just going to get it in there. So I think it's a close game. I got Tampa by 3.
So there we go. There's one difference on the board.
Next we got Houston traveling to Washington, and they're favored by 2.5. Both 6-3 teams. Houston's coming off a bye. They're all healthy. I mean, Hopkins is playing like a first team All Pro this year.
Sure, he definitely will be.
Washington's a little banged up, but they're both 6-3, so this will be a good game in
Definitely a
Washington.
big game for Dallas too.
Yeah,
Definitely cheering for Houston.
definitely
in this
cheering for
one. Trying to
Houston.
get a few games back in the division.
I do have Houston in this one. I believe that just the injuries on the Washington side, the Hopkins just playing as big all year this year, just big time player this year. I think Houston goes out there and wins by a touchdown.
Deshaun Watson definitely
Yeah.
turned it around. He started off very slow this year.
He got back to
People
his
were
form.
worried about his injury.
Yep,
Not thinking he was 100%. I mean, they started out 0-3.
they did.
He wasn't playing. He wasn't playing very well, and since then they've won 6 in a row.
One of them is
They're
Cowboys.
really hot right now, and I don't think Redskins can stop them.
I don't know.
Their Redskins scoring offense is a little down. I mean, they got AP. AP's been struggling lately.
Yeah, that line went down too.
The line definitely has taken some hits. They don't really have a go-to receiver.
Yeah.
Josh Doxson and
He's a big
hopefully
guy.
Crowder comes back and plays this week.
Yep.
I know he's been out the last few weeks and he's questionable, but I really just don't like that offense very much. So I definitely think Houston keeps it rolling and gets their 7th in a row.
I do agree with that one. Next we have Pittsburgh traveling to Jacksonville, a rematch of the AFC Championship game last year, and it's safe to say, Brody, it was nothing like last year.
Nothing like last year. Jacksonville comes in 3-6, and Pittsburgh comes in 6-2. Really, almost at the top of the league right now. They're playing fantastic, playing as
They're
good
hot.
as anyone. I really like Pittsburgh. This line of 5.5. Pittsburgh gets -5.5 in this one, and I just think they continue to get it done. I mean, they're first in the AFC North, up by a game on Cincinnati. I'm not sure how this tie will come into play.
Yeah,
They're actually probably up 2 games
Game
on
and a half, I
Cincinnati.
believe.
Game and a half.
Yeah.
So yeah, they definitely keep it going. This
Alright.
Jacksonville defense is nothing like they were last year.
Yeah, I get. And Fournette's back, which is big, but that just Pittsburgh's too much. I gotta get Pittsburgh in that game as well. Next one is Cincinnati, Baltimore. In Baltimore, and that line is even. As you said before, you believe RG3, if he plays, will bring that team to victory.
If RG3 plays, I obviously like Baltimore in this game.
Even spread, just who's going to win that game.
Whoever comes out on top.
You know
like
what? I
Baltimore.
think Marvin Jones is coaching for his job again this year. I like your pick with RG3 as I stated before, but I just think that Cincinnati wins a close one here. I really do.
Yeah, I like Baltimore. Like I said, Cincinnati's having a few guys out,
Yeah.
injured. AJ Green being a big one.
Big one.
Drake Kirkpatrick coming off concussion. He did practice later in the week, but I'm not sure if he'll get in there. But we'll see. And I really like Baltimore. Cincinnati's defense has been struggling, and Baltimore's offense, I think, can get the job done this week.
Yep. We will definitely see. It would be a good game to watch. Next we have the Chargers at home against Denver, and Denver played them close last time they played. I do believe. I mean, Denver's played a lot of teams close this year. The Chargers are streaking. And 7.5 is a big line though.
7.5.
Did you
That's
say it's
more
big
than a
lines?
touchdown. They got to win by 8 in this one.
Give me Denver. I want Denver in that game. I think it's another close one. I don't like big lines. I haven't been well with big lines. So I like the Chargers there.
Yeah, Denver's coming in at 3-6, but I think that record doesn't really display how they've played this year. A lot of people thought Denver would be one of those teams, really, really bad, like Oakland. Just really bad. Bringing in Case Keenum, I mean, you never know what you're going to get out of him. Great year last year in Minnesota, but I think they're right. They're right where they belong here at 3-6. I
Yeah.
don't think they're a horrible team, but I definitely think
They're not a playoff team.
they're not a playoff team. And I agree with you on the Chargers, or Denver. I mean, they've played teams well this year. They played the Chiefs well early in the season. They played the Rams, I mean, pretty well. I mean,
Yeah.
they're the Rams. You can't really stop that high-powered offense
No.
too much. But I definitely like Denver to keep it close.
Yep. Next one is New Orleans at home against Philly, and they are opened up as 9.5-point favorites. That's a line that I will take. I think New Orleans is just they won 8 in a row, big power team. Signed Brandon Marshall this week, and Philadelphia secondary struggling, so I love the New Orleans team in this game.
Yeah, for sure. New Orleans definitely just been playing fantastic. They're a great team. Drew Brees is playing out of his mind this year. Kamara's playing fantastic. Since Ingram's come back, he's been a great runner, great power runner for them. Michael Thomas on the outside, just fantastic. But Philly, I mean, they're 4-5 this year, coming off a Super Bowl win last season. Wentz is playing very well. It's just that defense. They've got a lot of injuries on defense and on the O-line. So they don't really have a run game. Ajayi went down earlier in the year. Josh Adams has been picking it up the past few weeks.
Yes.
He's just not getting the carries that he really needs. He's only getting about 7 or 8 a game, but he's averaging about 5 yards a carry. But with that being said, I definitely agree with you. New Orleans 9.5 in this one.
Then Chicago, Minnesota in Chicago on Sunday night. 2.5 points Chicago's way. I like Chicago here. The emergence of Trubisky's been playing big recently. Tariq Cohen's a weapon. Allen Robinson had a big game last week.
Big game.
I love Chicago in this game. Khalil Mack, always a good player.
Yeah, Allen Robinson making me look very dumb last week. Over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Trubisky's playing fantastic, giving everyone the ball. I was watching a video earlier this week. Matthew Berry said that 6 people on that Chicago Bears offense can be fantasy starters. With Allen Robinson, Trubisky, Trey Burton, Jordan Howard, Tariq Cohen, and then Anthony Miller. The rookies stepped up big this year. He's playing good in the slot, in the outside, wherever they put him. Minnesota, Kirk Cousins. They brought Kirk Cousins in, going for a Super Bowl run, basically. They really thought they could have it. Already with a worse record than last year. I don't believe Kirk's what they thought. He struggled a little bit early, but he's definitely been playing well. Thielen, just a fantastic player, of course. Stephon Diggs, they definitely have great targets on the outside. Dalvin Cook coming back. I actually like Minnesota on Sunday night, 2.5.
Awesome. Last game it was originally Mexico City, the Rams versus the Chiefs, and it's back in LA, and that's big for me. I think the Rams cover 3 points here in LA.
Rams favored by 3. I mean, this game's going to be fantastic. Like we said, originally supposed to be in Mexico City. It's going to be a fantastic football game. Todd Gurley versus Kareem Hunt, 2 of the top runners.
Yeah.
Jared Goff, the dude's thrown for over 3,000 yards already.
It's crazy.
He's top 3 in the league in yards thrown for, but obviously you got Patrick Mahomes, who's also definitely, if not number 1, the top thrower in the league.
Yeah.
He's definitely a great quarterback, but in LA, I'm gonna have to go with LA in this one, just based on the fact that it's in LA. The Coliseum gets packed, that's for sure. So I really like the Rams to cover this line.
I agree, and that'll wrap up the betting segment. So we'll have Z back on here with our fantasy insight now.
Z, you can go ahead since you're back. You'll join us with your must start of the week.
My must start is Kareem Hunt. The Rams have the 23rd ranked rush defense in the league. Rashad Penny ran for 12 carries for 108 yards and a touchdown, who was Seattle's backup, which I think is speaking volumes. Russell Wilson had 9 carries for 92 yards, and with Kareem Hunt's ability and how Rashad Penny did, I think Kareem Hunt will have a field day with this defense.
I really like Kareem Hunt. I had him last week. Didn't do too well last week. I believe he had about 11 or 12. Still a quality fantasy performance, but you expect more out of him. But this week, definitely, it's going to be a high-scoring game in the Coliseum. I like Kareem Hunt this week.
My must start is, after a big week last week, I have David Johnson versus the Raiders. The Raiders have one of the worst defenses, one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah. Very disappointing.
And David Johnson put up 37 last week. 2 touchdowns. Yeah,
receiving threat.
I just think that he has an all-out game against a terrible team. That's what I gotta go with.
I'm very disappointed in the Raiders. I thought Johnny Gruden would turn them around, but
it's not.
Disappointed.
Bringing in Gruden, 10 years, $100 million.
Yeah.
He's there for the long haul.
He's there for
They're going to keep him around, I believe. They'll have faith in him.
Yeah.
But
it's his first year, but he's got to get something.
For being out of the league for this long, it's tough.
Yeah.
But my must start of the week is Odell Beckham Jr. Going up against Tampa this week. Tampa Bay plays no defense. They can't guard anyone. Giving up 292 yards per game through the air. Their corners are definitely struggling a lot this year. And Odell goes for 2 touchdowns last week on 73 yards receiving. So he's playing well. He's been playing well all season. I know there's a lot of speculation with him. He earlier in the season complained about not getting the ball enough. But Eli's definitely looking at him. He's averaging about 10 targets a game. And I really like his target volume, and I think he'll have a great game this week against Tampa.
I'm a big Odell guy. He's just an athlete that can make plays, and he does deserve the ball more. I get where he's coming from. When you're that talented, I don't know why you wouldn't want to give a guy like that the ball.
Big time playmaker.
I know you're not a big Odell guy,
but
you got to give
he's a good
credit.
player. Good player.
Good player.
This week, next is our sleepers. This week, I have a little bit of bias here, but I have Michael Gallup, wide receiver of Dallas Cowboys, as my sleeper. He made some big plays in the last week. He caught a screen pass to get us that first down before the end of the half. Falcons are the 30th ranked pass defense in the league. They're all banged up. Dak's been playing great. I think you got to give Gallup the ball, and he's just going to make plays.
Yeah, I don't like the Falcons' defense. I think the giving that many points up for the Browns is just embarrassing in my opinion.
Yeah.
But new offensive coordinator in there for the Browns. I just think I don't think they're that bad of an offense anymore. But I don't like the Falcons' defense going into this one.
Yeah, Gallup, second on the team with 275 receiving yards this year. That just proves to you how rough the
Receiving core.
Cowboys' receiving core has
Until
been.
Cooper has come.
But Gallup's he's been all right. He's averaging 18 yards a
He's
catch.
a rookie. He's a rookie.
He's young. He's averaging 18 yards a catch, 15 receptions for 275. So I mean that's a great line.
ratio, yeah.
When he catches it, he can
makes
run.
plays.
He can run after the catch for sure.
For sure.
1 touchdown, 7 catches of 20 yards or more.
Yeah, he's a big play guy.
He's a big play guy, and I like the pick this week. I mean, Atlanta's corners, a lot of injuries on their defense.
Disease hurt this week too. They're back up.
I really like it. My sleeper is Christian Kirk. Going off what you said about
The Raiders.
Oakland being just a horrible defense. I really like a lot of people on Arizona this week. I think Fitzgerald will have a good game. I think Kirk will have a good game. Dave Johnson will have a good game. I think Rosen.
Rosen.
I believe he plays
Mike
very well. Plays very well.
Yeah.
Last week, Christian Kirk had a tough week, only hauling in 2 of his 6 targets. But like I said, they got the Raiders, and I think that's reason enough to get any Cardinal in your roster.
I do agree with that.
My sleeper is T.Y. Hilton. I know he's not having a good season this year, but he's historically put up great numbers, 4 1,000-yard receiving seasons. He's playing the Titans, and the Titans give up the 4th most points per completion to players lined up out wide. I just think he goes off this week and has a great week.
I like the pick.
I'm a big T.Y. Hilton guy. He's
Yeah.
done well on my fantasy team over the years. Like I said, not having a great season this year, but
No.
historically he can put up
He can
numbers,
put
and
up
I like
big
him in
numbers.
this one.
Next is our hater. This week I have Dalvin Cook as my hater, who is on my fantasy team. Tough to go with, but coming off of an injury, still might be a little iffy. Playing the Bears are the 2nd best rush defense in the league, which is big. Khalil Mack in there, Akeem Hicks. I just think
Definitely a huge
Dalvin
add.
Cook he's not going to break one out, and I think it's just going to be a slow game for him.
My sleeper as well is a guy I have on my roster. Starting him in fantasy this week, Adrian Peterson. I'm just down on him a little this week. Last week struggled against Tampa Bay, which was a little weird because Tampa Bay's rush defense isn't the greatest. I know it's top half of the league, but still, you expected a little better out of him. But overall this season, he's having a great year.
Yeah.
Fantastic year. 672 yards at 32 or 33 years old. The dude's just breaking every pass knowledge we've had about running backs.
Yeah.
But this week against Houston, J.J. Watt,
Tough
Jadeveon
defensive front.
Clowney,
Yeah.
tough defensive front. I really don't think he can get going.
Texans
Banged up line as well. Banged up line.
Yeah, of course. Banged up offensive line.
Yeah.
No receivers. They lean on him a lot. They give him a bunch of carries
I've been very
when the game's
impressed
going
with him.
well.
Yeah.
But I don't think
Yeah,
this one goes
yeah.
well. I think Washington gets behind early. He doesn't get a lot of touches, and he doesn't make a lot of the touches he does get.
I agree with that. My hater is actually Brody's hater last week that made him look dumb, but I'm going with him this week. What do you have? Over 100 yards receiving and 2
Allen
touchdowns?
Robinson, 100-yard receiving and 2 touchdowns last week.
He's getting covered by Xavier Rhodes this week. The Vikings have a lot of success covering number 1 receivers, holding Michael Thomas, Devontae Adams, Larry Fitzgerald, and Alshon Jeffrey to just 6.76 yards per target, a 22.5% drop-off from their
Wow.
averages against the rest of the NFL. I think that stat
Throw the
is
stats
huge.
on him, big fella.
I think that's a huge stat, and I don't like Allen Robinson this one just on that factor alone. Xavier Rhodes, Pro Bowler, great talent. I don't like him this one.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, if you guys have any questions about sports or fantasy against anything we talked about on the show, please dial us up at 330-639-9012. Again, any questions about the podcast or anything sports in general, that's 330-639-9012. And while we wait for some calls, we're going to talk some NBA.
Where would you like to start? That's for sure.
We gotta do this out.
Do we have a call? Yeah, we have a call.
Who's playing Northwestern Big Ten Championship, Ohio State or Michigan? And does a loss from Michigan in that game call for them to be knocked out of the playoff?
I do think if Ohio State pulls off that win against Michigan, it's a tough matchup. Michigan is very good this year, very solid team. But yeah, I think Ohio State plays Northwestern. If they pull that off, and Michigan will get kicked out of the college playoff. But if Michigan does get that win, they'll be playing Northwestern and still be in the top 4.
I agree. I think Michigan wins against Ohio State, I think Michigan gets to that game. I think if Michigan loses that game, their track record still might be good enough to get them in. It depends what other teams do.
They already
but
have a loss. I don't believe they gave them 2 losses and not a conference champion. They fall into the same boat as Georgia. In that.
Yeah, I guess that's
scheme of
true.
things.
That's true. I think they had win out to get in. I do.
Yeah, so Northwestern definitely looking good on the other side. Always the weaker side of the
Yeah.
Big Ten,
Very
definitely. But I really like Michigan this year. This Michigan-Ohio State game coming up is going to be a fantastic one.
Yeah.
Must win for both teams.
Oh,
honestly.
Backs
A
against
loss,
the wall.
a loss in this one
Gets you
really
out of the playoff.
get you out of the playoffs. You're playing for a playoff spot, and both teams are going to play so hard. This rivalry game is going to be insane.
I said it last week, Brody. I said this Michigan team will be the best that Urban has seen since he's been at Ohio
sure.
State. That
Definitely.
defense is fantastic. Shea Patterson, electrifying. We keep using that word over and over again.
Great rusher. I mean, Karan Higdon's over 1,000 yards with 9 touchdowns
Oh,
this
yeah.
year.
Tariq Black, the defensive end.
They got good receivers. But their defense is where they make their money. That's for sure. They're definitely going to have a lot of talent in this defensive side of the football. Ohio State's offense, they've been playing all right, but the defense has definitely been struggling.
Yeah, they're going to have to be perfect in that game to pull
For
off
sure.
that win.
So if there's any struggle in Ohio State's offense, then I think Michigan gets it done.
Yeah.
So I like Michigan to win that Michigan-Ohio State game, and then I like them to beat Northwestern, working their way into the 3 seed in the college football playoff.
That'll be a fantastic
It
game.
will be a great game.
All right, another question. What is the panel's take on the Mad Hatter, Les Miles, going to take over Kansas football?
Is that official?
It is now been made official.
Les Miles to one of
take
the
over.
worst Power 5 teams in college football.
I think the worst.
The worst. I believe
The
they're
worst.
the worst.
Up there with
Power 5
Rutgers.
college
Them and
football
Rutgers are
team.
definitely up there. I don't know. I mean, Les Miles is a power guy. He loves the game of football. There's no doubt about
How
that.
long has he been out of coaching? How long
Is
has
it
that been?
Orgeron took over halfway through last year? Am I correct?
I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yep,
Okay.
He's been out of the league for about a year and a half now.
I think
Going into a horrible.
horrible situation. Recruiting's gonna be key. He's gonna have to get some big time recruits.
Definitely going to need to keep the talent in Kansas at Kansas.
No
For sure.
Kansas State. You can't have anyone going there.
I think the name Les Miles is good for recruiting.
I
I've seen
think-
what he's done. He's a great coach. It's going to be tough turning that program
I
around.
think he turns it around. I really do. I don't think they become
It's gonna take some
a
time.
top team. No, you gotta give them about 3-4 years. But I do think they're gonna compete in the Big 12 in the next few years. I do believe. I
I
think
think
they're gonna have a winning record in the next few years, and they're just gonna compete
just
from there on
it
out.
comes down to the talent that he brings in and
I
how
do agree.
successful he will
His
be.
recruiting will determine what he does.
I mean, they got 3 wins this year. It's a step up from where they've been in the past.
Yep.
Last year, big win over Texas. Huge win. Last year, Kansas defeated Texas.
Wow.
This year, they beat TCU. I mean, TCU starts the year
TCU 's a
ranked
tough team.
very high. I know they haven't had the year everyone thought. But I mean, 27-26, that's a hard-fought game against
Yeah.
TCU, a
TCU
top team in the Big 12 for
TCU
years.
played Ohio State well too. That's a huge win.
Yep.
And so when Les comes in, definitely a big name.
I
So this recruiting, I believe he brings some recruits to Kansas. People like Les Miles. He was a great coach in the SEC. He's coach at the top, won a few national championships,
Yeah.
of course. So I really like what Kansas is trying to do here. I don't think it's going to be quick, like you guys said. But I think over time they get to a bowl. That's the end goal,
That's
really.
big, that's big
If
for
Les
them.
Miles can get to a bowl in his first
He
3
will get
years, that's
extended. He
a
will
win.
get extended, and yeah.
But yeah, it comes down to that what the recruits he brings in. That's
Yeah.
the key to all this.
Because the talent they have right now is obviously not getting it done, so he's going to need to find a way to bring in some better talent.
I'm sure he will.
And I'm sure he'll be able to do that.
Another question. Should the deplorable Cleveland Cavaliers trade the newly extended Kevin Love and go into full rebuild mode?
I don't.
I don't think
I don't
so.
know
I
that.
think Kevin's he's a guy that signed this season. I mean, big extension. He wants to be in Cleveland. He's always been on the trade talks. You never want to have that surrounding a team that's trying to
I mean,
rebuild.
he's won a title. He knows
He's
what
got
it takes
some
to get there. He played
experience.
with LeBron. He can always carry. I think that's a piece you need on your team going forward.
Yeah, I think you just want to have him on. I mean, he getting paid a lot, but it's just a guy that you want on the roster.
When he's healthy, I think he's worth the money.
So my take on all this is, what was his contract about? It's over 100 million, right?
Yeah.
For 5 years, 100 million, I believe.
Yes, yeah, somewhere along those lines.
That is a big hit in the cap space, and I know the NBA does have a cap limit.
They do. They have a
So giving Kevin Durant that much money a year, Kevin Love, that much money, you can't really go into full rebuild mode with that much cap space in one player. So I honestly think with their start, they've only won 2 games this year, 2-12, 2-13. I think you got to get rid of them and just play for the early picks in the draft.
You hate to see it.
You hate to see it. I mean, the dude just signed an
He loves
extension.
it.
He loves Cleveland. He loves being here.
He's one of the few guys that want to be.
But I mean, that much money in one player, you can't go into rebuild mode like that.
You
just
need
can't do
guys like him on your team though to bring the young guys along. I think he's
Yeah,
very
you
important on
definitely
this team.
need. He's definitely important, but just the amount of the
He's
cost is not worth
he's
what
not
he
been
brings.
staying
well,
healthy.
opportunity cost. We'll talk about that econ.
He's just not healthy.
Yeah, like he's just got to stay healthy. That's a big thing for him.
He can't help the guys develop on the court when he himself is not on the
Yep.
court. I mean, they got experience in Tristan Thompson, Rodney Hood, George Hill, JR. Those guys are all been in the league for a few years. Not big names, but I think they could bring guys like Con Sexton, Larry Nance, Jordan Clarkson. I think they could,
Bring them
or
along.
Jetty.
Yeah.
I think they could bring them along a little bit. They got Channing Frye. He's
Big
on
locker
the
guy.
roster,
I like
but he's more of like a player coach. I don't believe he gets in the game very often. But he's a big time guy to have in the locker room. I really like him. This offseason, you could go in and just sign some of those older guys for the vet minimum, $2.5 million, I believe it is, and just bring them in and just tell them that you're here
As a player
to
coach.
give your wisdom to our young guys. I mean, they're definitely going to get a lottery pick,
Yeah.
top 5 even maybe, if they keep losing. So that definitely guarantees them a fantastic player. And one of the guys at Duke, Nazir Little, someone like that. I mean, all fantastic players.
Yeah.
So I believe they need to get rid of him. They could get more picks for him too. Get some
It
more
just
young
depends what you get
talent.
for him.
Get
It
some
depends what
picks
you get for
for
him.
sure. Definitely depends on what you can get, what the package you can get for him.
With LeBron's famous Hummer that he drove in high school going up for auction, would you guys pay the $64,000 for the buy now price if you had the money?
Heck yeah. It's a Hummer.
I don't know.
I mean, it's a Hummer.
It's
It's
a Hummer.
LeBron's Hummer
It's
that
the
was
Hummer that
given to him illegally because his mom got some loan that she didn't qualify for. So everyone was speculating about his eligibility and stuff because they thought someone got it for him.
Those things are bad on gas, though.
I have a
No,
big,
for
I have a
sure.
big question. Do I only have $64,000, or do I have a lot of money and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
just a chunk going to the Hummer?
Yeah.
So I have
You
money.
got money.
Yeah,
You
you
just
got
have
money.
It's just
you
not
don't-
just
you don't just
64,000.
blow 64K on a
Oh, if
Hummer.
I
It's
have-
just,
I'm
I mean,
dropping
This is
64.
this
I'm
is a
fine.
giant. This is an artifact.
I'm
His
buying it.
basketball career.
His 18th birthday
His-
present.
I'm buying it.
18th
I
birthday
mean,
present
and-
that he basically bought. I mean, his mom got it for him with his money that he was gonna sign for the draft.
I mean, I'm buying it.
So I'm taking it.
Give me
I mean,
that
that is
Hummer.
a giant
That is-
artifact.
Give me that Hummer
in
for
LeBron's
64.
career.
I mean, I
For
might pay 100.
Honestly,
What's the
for
mileage on that at
64
this point?
for 64 grand, I think that's a steal.
I would pay
That is a
100.
steal. I pay
I'm
so
messing
much.
around.
I'm messing around.
We don't mess
Well,
around.
We
there's
don't
that.
mess around here, yeah.
So more of a question for Drake, but with the match coming up this week,
Oh, Tiger Phil.
yeah,
Tiger Phil.
how would you bet on Tiger in this one?
Hell,
Oh,
fucking
come,
yeah.
are you kidding? Are you kidding me?
And are you gonna tune in
Oh,
for the $20
$20
price?
It's probably one of the greatest sports events that we will ever see in our lives.
agree
I mean,
with that.
Tiger versus Phil, if you're a golf fan, which I'm sure there's not a lot of them out there, but those are just two electrifying names. Tiger and Phil, they'll always be up there. It's just a big
I
match.
mean, when was the last time you saw a 1v1
1v1
on the golf course?
on the golf course.
These
with
dudes
no
are
spectators allowed.
1v1. Nobody's there.
Nobody's there.
You gotta
except
pay
for
to see it on
cameramen.
TV. Just some
I
camera.
mean, and
I mean, this is gonna be a fantastic
see it.
event.
love to see
This
it.
itself will grow golf. I believe this.
Tiger
A lot
versus
of
Phil.
people are gonna watch that.
Yep.
I definitely have Tiger in this one. Big
Oh,
Tiger
I
guy,
would-
greatest golfer.
I would-
I can't say he's the best of all time,
I
but I
will.
really want to.
His comeback story is it's unbelievable. Tiger all the way.
Did you see his
Interview?
interview?
I did see the interview.
That was
I did.
great.
I did see the hype video too on Bleacher Report.
Yeah.
Tiger Phil. It's gonna be a great one. It's
gonna be great.
I can't wait to watch it. You put that one to you.
I'm not a big golf guy.
Yeah.
But
You
I
gotta
like
love
Phil.
Tiger.
I like
You
Phil.
like Phil?
I like Phil.
I think the mic'd up is going to be a crucial.
Oh, I
part to
cannot
that.
wait to hear the mic drop. That's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a great environment. We can't wait to watch it.
All right, next question. Kelly Bryant has officially listed his final 6 schools. They are Arkansas, Auburn, Miami, Mississippi State, Missouri, and North Carolina.
I
Where
think,
would you go if you were Kelly Bryant?
Well, I obviously.
Could I get
I'm
that
gonna-
list again,
I'm gonna
please?
say
Yeah.
UNC. So
Arkansas, Auburn, Miami, Mississippi State, Missouri, and North Carolina.
I'm surprised Oklahoma's not on that list. Very surprised.
That'd be a good
With
fit.
Kyler
I
Murray
think.
heading
Yeah.
out?
UNC all the way. If I'm going to UNC, but that's obviously a little biased. But I
Yeah,
love-
that's a
love to have-
horrible decision. That's a career. That's a career
It's a career
ruining
ending.
decision.
Hey,
He's not
Trubisky
going to
Trubisky went there. Look what he's doing.
Okay, so what was the record of their football team while Trubisky was there? They played in a big time bowl, if I'm
They
not mistaken.
were in the ACC championship game and lost on a crucial onside kick to
Yeah.
the Clemson Tigers,
And-
who ended up winning it that year.
Exactly.
They
played.
actually
in
played-
a good bowl.
they
They
played-
won that bowl game.
Yes, they played Clemson 27-21 compared to Ohio State's 31-0 dismantlement.
Yeah.
So
So
they're better than
and then-
Ohio State.
And then
They were
what's
better than Ohio
UNC?
State.
How's UNC looking this year?
They're 1-7.
Exactly. Career ruining decision.
Career-
Take UNC off that list right now, Kelly.
I'd go to Auburn if I'm Kelly Bryant.
Missouri, another horrible ball club. Don't go to Missouri either. Arkansas.
I'm not liking Arkansas.
Why waste your time?
I'd go Auburn.
Miami, good pro. I can't
wouldn't
see
even
you.
say I
I
would
can't
go to
see
Miami.
you at Miami. The U, of course. I would
He's
imagine.
not going to Miami, Ohio. I can tell you that.
If it comes down to Auburn, Mississippi State, Auburn's quarterback this year.
Sit him.
I mean, if you have the chance to bring in Kelly Bryant, you play him. That's a fact. no
Stidham
doubt.
is a first round projection though.
Who?
Really?
Yeah.
Jared Stidham's a
Jared
first round
Stidham.
projection.
Late first round, early second.
Quarterback at Auburn?
That's off of
Yeah.
potential then, yeah.
And is he going this year?
I would assume.
I'm
So
definitely
with
going
him
to
going
Auburn.
to the draft, you got Auburn
Gus Malzahn,
having a
huge
wide
Gus
open,
Malzahn guy.
quarterback. But Mississippi State, I mean, Dak Prescott,
You love
great,
to see it.
great
Love
college
to see
career.
that.
But
Great
definitely,
NFL
yep,
career, too.
I take Auburn. I think that's a
I
fantastic
think-
fit for him.
Yeah.
Auburn's had a history of running quarterbacks with Cam Newton, and I think Kelly Bryant has that running characteristic in the arm.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good fit for him.
Trubisky's a better runner than Cam Newton. That's why you got to go to UNC. But you know.
I mean, if you want to ruin your career, you go
Yeah,
on.
if you want to
Kelly, if you're listening, do not go to North Carolina.
Yeah, Kelly, if you're listening.
go to Arkansas. Just go to North Carolina. Where? Why would you even do that? Like that's just a.
Go get you a ring, buddy. Go get you a ring. Go to UNC.
Yeah, go get you a ring at Auburn.
It's a beautiful
It's a
campus.
beautiful campus, but come on, I'm trying to
All
make
right,
some money.
Brody, question for you right here. Do you think the Indians are making a mistake by considering trading Kluber and Carrasco?
Total rebuild, right?
So, making the playoffs this year. The Indians looked good all year. They really did. They looked fantastic.
Fantastic regular season.
So this rebuild took a lot of people by surprise. I'm not sure it's the right time for it. I know their bullpen struggled mightily all year.
Miller's a free agent, right?
And yeah, Miller's a free agent.
Bauer's not happy.
So I don't think it's a good timing for it. I think it would eventually happen. But right now it's a little weird timing. But I like what they're thinking. They're trying to get rid of Kluber and Carrasco and build around their young guys. They have a bunch of young talent. I really like their young
I
talent.
don't know if Lindor wants to be there.
I
though.
just don't think it's, they
Lindor's
don't need a-
declined 2 extensions already, so that's a bit scary. But so they're
Around.
looking to get rid of Kluber and Carrasco, and they have Clevenger, who I really like, a great young player. Bauer, if they got to give Bauer his 1-year deal. That's the thing. And then Bieber, great player. He delivers for them.
I hate Plucko though.
But,
Can't stand Plucko.
I don't think it's a good idea to rebuild. I really
think
don't.
so either.
I think they should get in the hunt for
Harper.
some bullpen. No, they don't need Harper. Harper's a cancer. They just need some relievers. If they get in the hunt this free agency for some relievers, keep everyone. Try to get everyone to come back.
Definitely need to
They're
improve that
they're
bullpen.
definitely another
World Series contender.
World Series contender. I mean, they got three proven starters in Carrasco, Kluber, and Bauer, and then Clevenger, who's definitely a quality fourth.
And you hope to have Zimmer back next year too. Another great young talent.
Yep.
Has some experience.
With Brad Hand closing,
I mean, it's
you
great.
just need to find someone in between. Because we saw this year in the playoffs, starters were going 3 innings, and you need those
Get
relievers.
Cody Allen out of there too.
You need those relievers to
I
cover.
just don't think
That
a rebuild
offense is
makes
fantastic.
sense right now.
It does. The
Like, get
rebuild
that
does not make sense.
bullpen improved. I just don't think it makes sense. I mean, they had great success, laid an egg in the playoffs. I can admit to that. I just think a rebuild does not make sense at this point.
Yeah, first in the AL Central, 91 wins. I mean, I know the AL Central isn't fantastic, but I mean,
Well, they're 91 wins.
91 wins.
fantastic. They're great. They're a great team. I don't think it's time for rebuild.
Any other questions from?
Yeah, we got one more for right now, but does Melo's quick decline does that take away from his tremendous beginning of his career? Does that still put him in a top 20, 25 conversation?
Melo's a Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer, but
First ballot might be pushing it just based on the fact he has no rings,
Yeah.
and a lot of people don't like Melo.
People
But
love
he
him.
definitely is a Hall of
I
Famer.
think he gets in, yeah.
Melo will be playing for the Shanghai Sharks with Jimmer Fredette here shortly.
I do not think that's
That's a
true.
prediction.
I think
true,
if he doesn't retire, I think he'll retire. He's had a hell of a career. He's proven he can't play anymore. But I think he'll go to the Lakers. That's my prediction.
He wants to be that guy on offense.
He
I
can't.
mean, he knows
Can't
he
anymore.
he would. It's been told to us at least that Houston brought him in, and he knew his role, what his role was going to be. He was going to do whatever they needed him to do, but he wants the ball. That's
He's
just
kind of a
something he's
selfish
always
player.
wanted. But he also wants a ring, and if he plays like the way he's been playing, he's never going to get it. And I honestly think with Uzi, I think he's done.
He's gotta
He's going to retire.
He's
I
got to
think
retire.
I think he goes back to New York and retires. Actually, I don't think he goes back to Denver. He was loved in Denver. Grew
They
up,
love the
grew
man.
up
Played fantastic.
drafted by Denver. He was a great player in Denver. But New York, I really think, is when he established his legacy as a player.
Yeah.
So I really like.
Very
I really think he heads
I have
back to
heard
New
that
York.
he has some interest in him. I don't know what he would be doing for the Heat, what he expects to have there. Him and his
Definitely.
buddy
It's a good
D
landing
Wade.
spot
It would
for
be
Maybe
him.
a-
him and his buddy D Wade retire together. I think that's what
Yeah,
he's looking
it
for.
would be a send off because we know D Wade's on his farewell tour
Yeah,
this year.
so it'll be
So they
interesting
can
to
just
see
go
what
at it
happens there.
together.
I don't think he has anything left in the tank. I really don't. Is
Alright.
that
Well, we got one more question mostly for Brody here. Where do you think Harper ends up this offseason?
With Harper turning down that $300 million deal from Washington,
Not to
it's,
be
it's,
Washington.
it's evident he doesn't want to be in Washington.
who turns down $300 million
yeah,
here for money?
$300 million. I think they were trying to give him a 10-year deal. 10-year, $300 million deal. I don't think he
it was
wants
with
that
no
long.
opt out and
Yeah, he
Trade
doesn't
clause,
want to be
probably.
there that long. I don't think he wants like a 5-6 year deal.
With
I mean
opt-out.
he's I believe he's 23 years old.
Oh boy, that's a young.
So even with that 5-year, 6-year deal, he's got some stuff left. He's 26. So even with that 5-year deal, that puts him at 31.
He can
In
play
baseball,
baseball.
that's still a fantastic age. I honestly think they need somewhere with a lot of cap room, a lot of space room. He's gonna want the money. So just going through the teams here, Boston doesn't want him. New York doesn't want him. Baltimore, he would never consider Baltimore. No one wants to go to Baltimore. They're the worst baseball team in the last 10 years of baseball, I believe.
Buck Showalter, baby.
The Blue Jays, I don't think he's interested in leaving the country. And Tampa Bay's got their own system. They play fantastic ball this year, and
Snell.
they just have this weird system that they got going on. Tampa Bay's been a laughingstock for a while, but this year, I believe they had over 70 wins in the AL Central or the AL East. Tough division with New York and Boston and Toronto.
Wow, yeah.
But they got their own system. I don't think they want him messing anything up. AL Central, Twins, no one wants to go there. Detroit, no. Kansas City, no. Cleveland, no. Chicago, no.
The Dodgers is where he went.
So I don't believe he goes anywhere in the American League. The American League will not see Bryce Harper in the American League this year, which leaves open, in my eyes, I like Philly. I like Philly a lot. I like Machado going to Philly even too, maybe.
Wow.
If Philly could get Machado and Bryce Harper, that's huge. Philly is young, very young, not too great, but can be. They're right there. They're right there where they can be great. They have Arrieta, Odubel Herrera, two great players, Maikel Franco. Just those are three great players that can hold down the fort. So I really like Philadelphia. And then another team I also really like is like you said, LA. I hate the big market teams. trying to bring in all these guys. I mean, I know LA made it to the World Series this year, so I don't know if they want to bring in Harper necessarily. Harper's been known as a big time hater in the locker room. He's a me guy, big me guy. That's the reason I don't think LA brings back Machado. I believe Machado was a 1-year rental with Seager being hurt. So in my eyes, I like Bryce Harper heading to Philly.
Bold prediction, but you love to see it. You really do. All right, is there any more? Or
We got one last one.
one last question, then we'll wrap it up.
UCF's quarterback Mackenzie Milton recently said that you can't tell me that Notre Dame's better than us. Do you believe that to be true, or is that a false, just biased opinion?
That's a biased opinion.
Very
They both
biased.
have the same record. Notre Dame has played a lot more ranked teams this year. UCF's a good team. I can give you that. But you just, if you're gonna go, you can't go at Notre Dame. You can go at a 2-loss team somewhere along those lines, but you can't go at an undefeated Notre Dame team with that kind of comment. I
I just think
disagree
it's a
with
dumb.
it.
It's a dumb comment. Makes him look bad. I mean,
Yeah.
it reminds me of like a Tate Martell in high school when he tweeted about all the other
Can't
teams he
stand the
played
guy.
against. But I see, like I said earlier in the show, I love UCF.
I like the
do.
confidence though. But
I
I
love
just
the
think
confidence.
it's a dumb comment.
But what I think, Notre Dame loses against Syracuse.
Yeah.
Okay, that knocks him out of the playoff, in my eyes, at least.
Let me see. You have a bowl game?
In a bowl game, the committee should take that into account. If
wow.
Notre Dame gets knocked out of the playoff picture,
Put them against UCF.
put them in a New Year's 6 against UCF.
Yeah,
Blood
Notre Dame shuts them up and
Let's see
wins by a
that.
few touchdowns.
Let's just see that. That's
I would love to see it, but we will wrap this up today. We'll just say thanks for viewing. We appreciate the look on the show, and until next week, right?
Yep, until next week,
We
fellas.
will catch you guys next Saturday at 10 a.m.